tell you what, Dwight, I know we've had these things set up, you know, to talk a lot and had it all going, and I got a little bit of coughing and sickness, just try to kind of getting over that, and we've set a long time to kind of get this going. But now, let's just talk a little bit about Alabama football and the history and how things developed, and a lot of the stories that people are talking about, and the books that's being written, and young people. And we know that Coach Bryant is his 25th anniversary to be gone. I know he's been gone a long time,
right,
but his legends and what Coach Bryant does, and the theories and the way that he taught it's unreal. I know that like John Hannah.
mm-hmm.
I know you and Hannah was on tapes, on film. Y'all talking about technique, football, and how things, and you have a little bit of differences sometimes in the way that Hannah was taught and from what you were taught. But first, let me say that I know I went through the 1958,
Mm-hmm.
the very first spring trainings and things that when Coach Bryant was there.
Uh-huh.
And I know that he ran some really, really good athletes away. And see, from that point, he kind of eased up because we had a lot of success, you know, through the 60s,
mm-hmm.
and winding up on the first national championship team, 61, and then we went on into the 64, 65 national championship. See, so Coach Bryant, that was the way y'all ended his career up in 78, 79. Mm-hmm. He was very back on the top. Mm-hmm. But see, and talking with Hannah, so you'll know a little bit more about Hannah too, in that I know that in 1969, 70, mm-hmm. when Hannah was kind of a freshman coming along, that Coach Bryant, by the time, if you read the stories, he was back in a rebuilding thing, almost like it was in 1958. Mm-hmm. And so now at that point, Coach Bryant came off that tower, and he did make some personal, he made Hannah pay some personal prices, mm-hmm. because he was probably one of the best players on the team. Mm-hmm. And and a lot of the players that went through that time again was almost like 1958. But see, John pushed himself. He would have, he gave out. Well, Coach Bryant, he said it, and John said it before. And Coach Bryant will tell you that you can't push your body too far that you can hurt it. It's got a built-in mechanism. It'll shut itself down first.
Right.
I mean, and so that's that.
Right.
That was the attitude that Coach Bryant came back off the tower. Uh-huh. That's when he put Hannah. His mother even got on to Hannah on television because she wanted to know why Coach Bryant kicked him on TV. Mm-hmm. So see, Hannah does have some things to say. You talk to Hannah. How do you feel the technique wise as we played there? It was more of a running. It was
sure.
a situation. And Hannah, he doesn't really know the necessarily run, realize it, but he was taught really to how to pull the body weight, how to get it out there. He was taught that at Alabama, mm-hmm. and that's what really made him famous in the pros, was mm-hmm. being able to lead those plays coming around. But it was a different style of football when Hannah was coming through there compared to what you had. So mm-hmm. compare some of the techniques, or compare yourself in that conversation you and John had.
Yeah, you know, John Hannah, I mean, first let me start by saying, I mean, great. I haven't seen a better offensive lineman than John Hannah. What he did on the college level as well as the professional level, I mean, I try to watch as much as I could about John Hannah. I mean, if I had a chance to watch a play and John Hannah was in it, I mean, I wanted to watch it, and I was fortunate I did get to see him play a lot in the pros and stuff, and I saw some of his Alabama days, and but one of the greatest offensive lineman I think I ever saw and stuff. He played the game better than anybody I thought played the game. I admired him. And still do, the way he played the game. You know, I watched John. I saw him in the pros, and the way he played, you know, his body lean and the way he played. I thought he was very sound after the offensive lineman. He did everything right. I mean, I used to watch the game just to see if he would make mistakes, if he did anything not good. I mean, I thought he did. He pass blocked great, I thought. I mean, run block was unbelievable. He pulled well as an offensive lineman. Didn't wear out near the end of the game. He got stronger. I felt he was just as effective at the beginning of the game as he was at the end, and maybe even more effective at the end of the game, where other people would probably run out of gas. He was still, he still was going and stuff. And he beat his, kind of beat his opponent. Had pretty much decided that John was a better football player at that time, and decided to cooperate or whatever stuff. Just a great offensive lineman and a great individual. I learned. I can talk about my days at Alabama. I can tell you that my days at Alabama, I learned a lot. It gave me the foundation to go to the next level. As a football player, it taught me. You guys taught me how to come out for football, how to be in tough situations when things aren't going well, to hang in there and make adjustments and get to the point where you do well. You're able to finish the game. And Coach Bryan used to always talk about showing your class. And having a plan, out there on the football field. That what happens if I can remember one, and I never thought Coach Bryan ever talked about losing, but I can remember one time he said, "Look here, you got to have a plan. You go out there on you guys gonna win. You win. Everybody know what to do. Then that's easy. Suppose you don't win. What are you gonna do? You got to have a plan. You got to always have a plan." So I try to anticipate, and so when Coach Bryan said, I probably listened to every word he ever, that he ever spoke to me, and try to get the real meaning out of what he said, and was trying to get across.
We had a roast of a few months back in Birmingham, in Hannah for a charity.
Right.
Well, see, Hannah has openly made statements that he didn't really learn anything at Alabama. When he was coaching, when he was playing.
Right.
And that's what. But you see, the time that he was there, we weren't going. That's when we were just changing over, going to the drop back passing more in the technique wise.
Right.
But see, so I asked Hannah, because after he left Alabama and he'd go to the pros, well, every time he'd come back, I'd bug him, I'd talk to him, I'd ask him, and what to do, whatever. Well, see, he taught us not to cross your feet. He taught us to lead steps. He was coming back and telling us the things that he was learning in the pros. And the things that we taught you, Hannah was pretty well responsible for giving us the information on how we were going to start developing and going. And so I told Hannah about it, and he's talking about you didn't learn anything. And I said, you remember when I used to come bug you? You used to bug me to death. I said, that's right. He said, you know what I did? Yes, I said, I took all that information and I took Dwight Stevenson and made him a better football player than you are.
Well, I thank John for that, and I thank you for it. Absolutely. It's, I have no, John Hannah, I just can't say enough good things about how great a football player he was and stuff. And, offensive lineman, he's the guy that, one of the guys I enjoy watching the most. That ever played offensive lineman. I really enjoy watching him play.
But don't you think that it's what we're sitting here talking about? The individual and the player makes the play. But for what we had at Alabama, I think that we were all taught that just like you said about John, you never gave up. It never gave out. It was the fourth quarter. That's that's like Coach Shula has made a lot of talk about. He used to use a lot of Alabama players because they were taught that discipline along the way.
Right.
So